What is popping, guys? You got your coach of the Chim Chargers here for our Week 8 GBA match versus Tup, coach of the Pittsburgh Pirattatas, and we actually did face once, I believe, last season where we managed to cop a W. Was a very solid game though, so hopefully this will be the same. He brings a team of Steelix, Blissey, Staraptor, Hydreigon, Tapu Koko, and Tangrowth, while we bring the team from yesterday's building video, which if you haven't seen, maybe you want to check it out, give yourself a better idea of what I'm bringing. For this week though, somebody actually did notice that I actually am bringing the exact same team from last week with a couple moves changed here and there, but whoever noticed that was pretty smart. But in any case, looking at Tup's team, I definitely expected him to bring the last 4 members of his team, being the Staraptor, the Hydreigon, the Koko, and the Tangrowth. He did bring a Blissey, which is pretty cool. I was kind of on the fence about him bringing that, but he decided to bring it, which is nice. And he brought his Steelix, which I didn't really expect him to bring because I have a lot of water types that can take advantage of Pokemon like that. But it's actually pretty good versus my team, I guess, since Steelix is a very bulky Pokemon, something that can check my Dragonite, which is a huge win condition for my team. Speaking of win conditions here, Dragonite is going to be putting in a lot of work, I feel, because if we are able to weaken that Steelix, get up a Dragon Dance, we will be able to sweep. So looking at Tup's team, I noticed for a fact that he has no hazard control on his team, which is nice because I can get up rocks with Empoleon and I can keep them there. Another main goal that I had besides that, of course, was to keep rocks away from my side because we don't want Dragonite's multi-scale getting worn down or anything like that before we get a chance to set up. So getting rid of rocks from our side is going to be really nice. Speaking of rocks, he does have 2 potential stealth rockers, being his Steelix or his Blissey. So one of those 2 are going to be getting up rocks, which means we have to get rid of them as soon as we can. Try to get rid of the source of those rocks and keep rocks on his side. So that's going to be the goal going into this match, is to of course try to set up a sweep for Dragonite and you know, just try to weaken his team as much as we can, because that's just going to make Dragonite have a much easier time of putting in work versus Tup's team. We are of course the Dragon Dance Flying Emvee set, so that's gonna be doing a lot of good damage versus him if we can time it properly. And of course, you know, I decided that I figured my best lead was to lead off with my Landorus. His potential leads are going to be his Staraptor, his Hydreigon, his Koko. Perhaps, you know, all of those 3 have good momentum with U-turn or Volt Switch, and provided they're not Scarf, my Landorus is going to be faster, get the faster U-turn off, and we can act accordingly. Also, his potential lead could also be Steelix in terms of trying to get up rocks, I guess. I don't really see him leading off with Blissey or with Tangrowth. I definitely see him leading off with one of those 4 mons, and I feel like Landorus is just the best lead in overall scenarios. So let's go ahead here, see how this game pans out, and let's go ahead and commence this match here. I'll show you guys exactly what happens. So Tup is going to be doing that challenge. Got that nice chat dot shirt on. Going to be trying to sing his way to victory here, but he decides to lead off with his Steelix. As I lead up with my Landorus, get off the nice Intimidate on this thing. I figured that, you know, Landorus is not going to be doing much initial damage. I figured that I might go for the U-turn here in case he wants to either get up rocks or switch out. And I can go ahead, U-turn out, as he decides to go to Tangrowth here. Judging by that damage, I'm guessing that he's probably going to be Assault Vest or something. And I can go here into my Empoleon, which can take any hit from this thing really well. I have that nice Steel type added onto my Water type here. So I can get up my rocks as he decides to go for the knockoff, getting rid of my Wakanberry. So a little bit annoying since I can't really use this thing as a defog check on potential Koko in case he has rocks up already and I need an emergency defog. But he does go to Blissey here. As I go for the Toxic, it does miss though, which is kind of unfortunate, as you'll soon see what his Blissey set is later on in the match. I tried to Toxic that Tangrowth, it didn't really work out too well, but I can switch out here. I don't want to stay and try to Toxic it again because I want that nice offensive pressure. I want to keep up the momentum on my side in terms of that offensive pressure. So I'm going to go here into my Virizion as he does get up his rock. So we know Blissey is his rock setter. And now I go for the SD, predicting him to want to switch out of my Virizion into something else like Tangrowth so that we can 2-hit KO that. But he goes for the Ice Beam here. Judging by that damage, I know for a fact that this Blissey is a bit offensive. It has some special attacks, so really cool set that he brought there with this nice offensive Blissey. Now he is going to switch out here into his Tangrowth for whatever reason, I guess maybe sacking it, because close combat's going to be a 2-hit KO on this thing. So Tangrowth is no longer there. So I can only assume that he did not want Tangrowth anymore because he has thrown it into the fire of this close combat. So we are going to be able to take out this Tangrowth here. 1 Pokemon down on his side, so we got the first blood there, being able to get rid of this Tangrowth. So now he's going to go to Staraptor here. Now he's going to go to Staraptor here, and I don't want to risk him being Choice Scarf. And I am going to switch out here into my Cresselia because the game plan that I have now in terms of dealing with Staraptor is to try to force him to go for a recoil move like Brave Bird or Double Edge and make him take a lot of damage to put him in range of an extreme speed from Dragonite. So he actually goes for the quick attack, which reveals to me that he's probably going to be a choice banded Staraptor set, because choice banded sets would more likely run quick attack than Scarf. Now he's going to go to Steelix here because he's probably locked in. I go for the sub. In case the Steelix does not have Roar, my Cresselia can sweep immediately. So I'm going to go for the Calm Mind here. I want to kind of scout out what set his Steelix is. If he has Roar, then I guess he's more well prepared for my Cresselia. And he actually does have Roar, so he's going to be able to phase us out here. No Cresselia sweep right now, but maybe later in the season we'll see. I'm going to be sent out into my Landorus here, which is pretty nice, I guess. Gets off the Intimidate on this thing, and I just had to go for the U-turn here in the event that he either stays in and goes for a move or switches out. And he actually does stay in, so I'm going to go here into Empoleon because I know for a fact he is not going to be clicking Earthquake here. And he actually goes for the Ice Fang, so I guess he's packing what he has like Roar, Ice Fang, maybe Earthquake or something, and another move. And he's gonna switch out here into his Blissey as I decide to go for the Scald here. I wanted to try to weaken that Steelix a bit in case he wanted to stay in and Earthquake me, even with his Intimidate, and try to set the stage for Dragonite later on. But he goes into Blissey here, so I decide, you know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm gonna go for the Toxic on this thing. I am going to be able to actually get off the defog on this thing, prevent him from setting up rocks, repeatedly spamming rocks because of the fact that he's on a timer now. And he goes for the Mud Bomb. So I'm like, what is this set right now? What is he running here? Is it like a Serene Gray set or something? Because I see Mud Bomb, I see Ice Beam, so I'm like, okay, this thing has to be a Serene Gray set or something like that. I go for the Defog here just to get rid of his rocks, as he actually goes for the Mud Bomb once again. And as you can see, he does get an accuracy drop. Doesn't matter too much because I think Defog kind of goes through that, especially with his evasion drops as well. And he gets toxic damage here, so that's nice. There's no way that he can keep rocks on my side while I get rid of them and go for rocks of my own. So as you can see here, he goes for the stealth rocks. We're in that sort of fight right now in terms of trying to keep rocks up and me getting rid of rocks while he's on a timer, so he can't really win this war at all. Now he's actually going to switch out here, I believe, into his Black Pearl, which is his Hydreigon. So that's pretty interesting. Now I can go for the Defog here and keep rocks away from my side, so that's really useful, especially since now Blissey probably won't have another chance to get up rocks, especially since I have a lot of offensive pressure on my team that I can really just sort of bring out whenever Blissey tries to make a move. Just try to keep those in while Blissey's around. Now he goes for a Dark Pulse here, reveals that he is a Life Orb set, so I can go right into my Virizion, and he actually decides to stay in and sack it, which is a bit weird to me, I guess, because Hydreigon's a great offensive threat, so we're able to knock out Hydreigon right off the bat here, so that is just gone. Virizion coming through. He goes into his Staraptor here. I decide to switch out into my Cresselia in case he wants to go for another quick attack. I feel like Virizion can still put in some good work here. Cress is not that useful in this match, and I want to use it as a sort of way to put recoil on this Staraptor. As you can see, he goes for the Brave Bird. Nice banded Brave Bird. A little bit of recoil there, which is nice, as it will play out pretty well in the end. We go here into our Landorus because I want to just go ahead and knock off whatever item Steelix has. I'm trying to bait the Steelix to come in so that I can knock off its item. I didn't see a leftovers or anything, so I expect him to have some sort of berry, and he actually does have the Shucka Berry, which is so nice to be able to knock off for my Dragonite specifically. So we go here into Virizion as he goes for the Ice Fang, which does not knock us out at all, so that's awesome. And I do go for the close combat here just to get off some additional damage on this Steelix so that my Dragonite can come in and have some fun. He decides to go for the Ice Fang once again to knock out my Virizion. So Virizion is down. It put in some good work though. Definitely put in some good work getting rid of the Tangrowth, the Hydreigon, weakening the Steelix. And now my Dragonite can come out here. I just decide to go for the Earthquake, pick this thing off. And because of the Shucka Berry not being there, we're able to knock it out. If he had a Shucka Berry, I'm pretty sure that thing might have lived, and we would have taken a lot of damage from that Ice Fang, or had our multi-scale broken for that Coco that's just about to come in now. So he brings in Tapu Koko here, and I decide that I am going to switch out into my Muck, because Muck, it can take hits really well. It's a very bulky Pokemon. You already know this is the Figgy Berry set, so he does go for the Dazzling Gleam here. I guess trying to hit Dragonite for some super effective damage, but now he goes for the Volt Switch as we bring in Muck. We have that Figgy Berry to keep us in at full or near full health, and he switches out here into his Blissey. Into his Blissey here. So I do go for the knockoff here. Now I don't want Blissey to set up rocks again. Blissey's actually faster than me, and as you can see, he is Serene Gray, so the poison stays. He's not natural cure or anything. I'm going to switch out here into my Dragonite because I don't want him to set up rocks over my Muck. Then Dragonite takes 25 when it comes in, so he actually goes for the Soft Boiled here. So I'm like, you know what? I never want to see this set ever again. I don't want to see this set anymore. So here's what I end up doing here. I just go ahead, click the Z move here. So I clicked that watch right there, you know, the nice little Z crystal watch. Go for this supersonic Skystrike here. Unleash the full force of the Z move. Check this animation out, alright? This Blissey's already done for. We come from the sky and we just destroy it. It's gone. So Blissey is out of the field now. No stealth rocks ever gonna happen on our side again from this match. And he goes here into his Tapu Koko. I decided I'm gonna just switch right back out into my Muck here. There's no reason for me to just stay in on this Koko. He just goes right for the Volt Switch here. Oh, no, not the Volt Switch. He goes for the Dazzling Gleam again. And then he follows up with a Volt Switch right now. The Electric Terrain is gone, but he actually ends up getting a crit on this Volt Switch, which is a little bit annoying because now he can go into Staraptor here. And I actually go for the Poison Jab though, which is nice. He switches out into Staraptor. I go for Poison Jab. Not able to kill it though, which is a little bit annoying. But he goes for a quick attack, lands another crit here. Doesn't really matter too much in the end. I mean, even with those crits, doesn't really matter too much. I can go right back into my Dragonite here, hit him up with the nice extreme speed, and knock this out. The last Pokemon that he has is a Tapu Koko. We kept our multi-scale intact, which is very important. Like I said, that was one of the goals that I had. It was to keep away rocks from our side so that our Dragonite can come in and we can take this Dazzling Gleam. He goes right for the Dazzling Gleam here, as it does a good amount of damage, and we can go for the Earthquake. He's actually able to live this Earthquake too. We're like 1 HP pretty much, or almost 1 HP I guess, or I think it's 1 HP, but now we can go for the E-Speed, pick this thing off. We had a Landorus, we had a Scarf Lando in the back too, so regardless of whatever outcome happened, we had that sort of safety measure in the back there, and we were able to cop the win. GG, it is Emvee, and now I think we're 7-1, right? That's pretty solid, so that's really nice there. We're still in the lead of the league right now. Unfortunate for Tup not being able to get his first win here, but I do believe that hopefully he can cop a win before the season's over, but we'll see, you know, we'll see how it goes. I definitely feel like he has a solid team. He's just not making full use of the optimal sets that he could possibly bring. But I mean, it's a learning experience, of course, with different Pokemon that you got on each team that you're maybe not used to. But in any case, we played this really well, for sure. We were able to get rid of rocks from our side and do well with Dragonite. Pretty much like what I had in mind at the beginning of this, going into this game. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed this match. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, always looking forward to hearing from you all. Chim Chargers copping another W. Will definitely bring more heat once I know that we're guaranteed in the playoffs, and you know, I'll bring some heat as well in the playoffs. Why not? Anything that helps us win, of course, and anything that helps us get to the championship and cop that trophy. So we'll see how we can do. Hope you all enjoy it, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.